more enemies day by the day, man. Everybody is starting to wake up to this devil. All right, even those North African countries, which you got a lot of Ishmaelites over there, but you also got the Hamites, Cush is over there, and they're Islamic. But even them, according to prophecy, they're going to be a part of this World War III, the Gog and Magog war. They're going to be a part of that, man, and they're going to side with the alliance of Russia, China, and Iran. All right, that's why it says Ethiopia is also in it, man.
In Ezekiel the 38th.
Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Okay, and what they all have in common is that they hate the state of Israel. Okay, they hate them over there.
Because they're over there destabilizing the whole area.
And then they also know that Israel was the one that got the U.S. bringing their armed militias and armed forces over there in those regions. What a lot of people don't know is Africa. There's a lot of armies in Africa, man. China got a military established over there. Russia got a military bases established over there. As a matter of fact, I think it was maybe a month ago, the president of Sudan, he had to have a meeting with Putin because he's basically saying that the West is trying to basically divide Sudan up, man. That whole northern part of Africa, they saying that the West is over there trying to divide them up. So he was asking for protection from Putin, man.
Prophecy, bro. I gotta read it now.
Go ahead.
Then we'll go back to that. Did you want to make a point?
No.
And notice that they used NATO to take out Gaddafi, which was next door over there in Libya. They're not gonna allow that to happen again, man. Especially not on Putin's watch.
That's right.
All right.
And like when I read this, the prophecy of how it goes down, and exactly what you just explained breaks down this scripture right here. Everything to a T, bro. You basically broke this down.
Go ahead
right?
and bring it up.
Ezekiel 38, I'm gonna start verse 1. It says,
because it's the year of prophecy, man.
That's right.
We're already concerned with, because things are happening worldwide, man. It's happening worldwide and consecutively.
Back to back.
Back to back, things are happening.
Hey,
so what other time then there being for us to prophesy?
If the world was of these events were a dot-to-dot picture, most of the pictures are already drawn. Most of the pictures is only a few more dots. You can see what's unfolding if you're looking, right? It says, Ezekiel 38, I'm starting verse 1, says, and the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog.
Which is talking about Russia.
Right.
All right. And they're doing a lot of strategic moves on the earth. They're getting an advantage over the U.S. Israeli alliance, man.
That's right. They playing chess, man.
They're playing chess. They're arming all of America's allies and some of America's NATO allies, as well as America's enemies.
Because they're becoming the enemies.
Turkey. All right.
It says the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, the prophecy and prophesy against him.
Go ahead.
And say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Meaning, if you put your hooks into somebody's jaws, you can now control them. And that's what the Heavenly Father's doing with Russia. He's controlling Russia to make them make these alliances and these deals and protect certain people in the earth.
Because he's raising them up to that to fulfill prophecy of basically the bear meeting the beast. All right, because they're going to play the role in destroying this superpower, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
And he's providing all these different countries with those bucklers and swords.
army. He's giving out Satan 2 and
I created the Smith.
He's put his Air Force over there. And all kinds of military weapons in these areas.
Yeah.
You know.
As a matter of fact, if I may, real quick, I wanted to bring this article out, and the brother from the London camp, he was actually going into it in his video. But basically, and it's from this is from NPR.org. It says U.S. military advantage over Russia and China eroding. Pentagon says. It says the Pentagon
eroding means it's crumbling.
Yeah.
Breaking down.
It says the Pentagon unveiled its national defense strategy, a document that focuses on the eroding U.S. military advantage with regard to Russia and China, and will likely influence future spending on weapons systems and other military hardware. The department needs to focus on Russia and China, said Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Strategy and Force Development Elbridge Colby during a question and answer session. It says, with reporters at the Pentagon, the erosion of our military advantage is the problem.
Yeah, because we can't handle, we was okay beating up on all these Middle Eastern countries. We can't touch these superpowers. Hey, and some of these superpowers like China and Russia are joining together. So we need to,
and they're very strategic in the different moves that they make.
And the thing about it is they've been planning this for a long time. They're not just planning this on the go. Like the brother said, the Spirit of the Lord is with Russia and these other countries. But man, these other countries have been planning this get back at America for a long time, and it's a long time coming. All right, it's long overdue.
It says, but the document states interstate strategic competition, not terrorism, is now the primary concern in U.S. national security.
And remember when W. Bush said our #1 focus is terrorism. We're gonna wipe it out in the earth, and I forgot we're gonna search out all the evildoers and all of this, right? That's the #1 thing. And Al Qaeda, I think he said, was the #1 issue. Well, now they're saying, forget about terrorism. Our #1 thing that we got to worry about is these other superpowers coming up against us. Because we don't. It said our eroding advantage. America, where they once had the advantage, is getting too close to even. So now with both of those superpowers, they're actually behind. They can take them out.
Their technology now is behind this other country. Behind far as,
especially with Russia. Because America, their military is still powerful over a vast majority of the militaries of the nations. But the fact that Russia is stepping it up and their alliance with China and how they're basically strategically putting everything in place, where they're setting their armies at, where they're making deals with certain countries and aiding them and supplying them with weapons or oil or gas or whatever. The fact that they're making all these moves is making these other nations pick a side.
Let me say it like this, bro, because if you look at how America was doing it versus they're going to set up Americans with an embassy over there. Well, Russia's not doing it that way. They're actually giving take these guns and these weapons, and you just hold it down against that same enemy. America, you just hold it down from over there. We ain't gonna go and mess with none of your personal stuff going over there. Just when war comes through you hold that area down. And so he's empowering these other nations to be able to fight against America. Because America's just pillaging the earth, man. Trying to take stuff. You had, who was reading?
It was a little more on this. And then we'll go right back to that. It says the new Pentagon strategy is in contrast to the national security strategy outlined last month with a statement from President Trump that mentioned neither Russia nor China, but instead focused elsewhere. We are rallying the world against the rogue regime in North Korea, Trump said in a statement, and confronting the danger posed by the dictatorship in Iran, which those determined to pursue a flawed nuclear deal had neglected. We have renewed our friendships in the Middle East and partnered with regional leaders to help drive out terrorists and extremists, which really, that's bullshit.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. All right, really what it is they just want to impose their dominance over there in that region. That's all they're talking about. But they're giving you their justification is that these are extremists and terrorists over there.
Okay.
Basically, their government leader is basically a tyrant.
Okay, he not bowing down to America.
Yeah, you know. So that's what they do, and they use propaganda in the media to basically brainwash the world into thinking that they're justified in going over there to those that region.
Okay.
You know?
It's much like when basically when you had Kim Jong-un, he had his army and all his people were basically not bowing down, but basically reverencing their flag. Yep. Trump called him a terrorist. Yep. He's basically saying he was brainwashing they people over there. Yep. But America do the same thing when they put their hand over the flag, over over their heart. It's not the same thing though when it comes to America.
Right.
That's not brainwashing.
It's double standard.
Yeah.
It's double crossing, man. Yeah. And then see that's the difference because Esau, he will go and so-called white man, he'll go and tell you that you're doing something wrong. He's guilty of the same thing. Okay. If it's about guilt, like he makes the children sing the national anthem and pledge of allegiance to the flag and all of that. Mm-hmm. But the difference is, and if these other countries don't do it, y'all terrorists are like America.
Yeah.
But then what Putin is doing over there is he's like, no, keep your flag and your country and all of that, and your laws and everything you do. Just when war comes, I'm gonna give you these weapons so you can fight with us. You know, help us fight against this guy. That's the difference. Versus changing all what they're about. They don't go bring I don't know what does Russia believe in. I don't know what they believe in, but whatever it is that they bring Christianity and whatever else to these other countries, they're leaving them with their own beliefs.
I believe they were communists.
Yeah.
You know, they deal with communism.
They're not spreading it in a negative way. No, I don't think it's like a religion like that. You know. Yeah. But so let me no, you bring that in Second Ezra. Yeah,
Second Ezra, chapter 16. And
the same countries that you named.
Yeah.
The Second Ezra 16 and 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon in Asia.
Woe be unto thee, Babylon in Asia. Well, nobody's worried about Babylon right now. But America is Babylon also in this context, because in ancient Babylon, it wasn't what is gonna go down. Talking about a sword is sent, you know, a killing instrument, and it's gonna go down and start describing missiles. You go further into it. It's not talking about that. But Babylon being America, and Asia, who? China, North Korea,
Russia. Because people don't realize that Russia's part of Asia, the biggest country in Asia.
Yeah.
So that's talking about
that's kind of Asia.
Yeah. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Egypt and Syria. And what's funny, when I go the next verse in Ezekiel, I can stop right there. Egypt and Syria. Where are those located at? Syria is at the top of up there past Palestine, in that region. And what's at the bottom? Egypt, Northern Africa.
Okay.
Now let me go back into this right.
You said Egypt. At the top is Syria, and at the bottom is Egypt.
Egypt. I mean, but it's in Northern Africa.
Yeah.
Talking about Egypt, right?
Yeah.
Back in Ezekiel 38, verse 5, it said Persia, Northern Africa. Well, you know what I mean? Iran over there.
Iran, yeah.
So Ethiopia and Libya, those are all, Ethiopia and Libya are in Northern Africa. It says, with them, all of them with shield and helmet, giving them arms to fight in this war. And that's because it's talking about Russia aiding them to do it. It says Gomer and all his bands.
Which is Turkey.
Yep. And all his bands. Look, the house of Togarmah in the north quarters. I forgot who I had it written on the table of nations in the Hebrew. What that was? Let me see if it tells me. Just say troops of the north. Yeah, far north. Anyway, it says, and all his bands and all his and many people with thee, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be a guard unto them. So he's making Russia a guard unto all of them. No, it's not on here. It was something else I wrote a long time ago.
Okay.
The nations meant in the Hebrew. But it had, like Gomer, like you said, was Turkey. I had the whole breakdown. So nah, it don't tell. It's just the forefront.
I got a pre.
Then I want you to go back to
Jeremiah 50 verse 9, it says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her."
They didn't do that against ancient Babylon. That's talking about America. They're gonna do that against America, not under the same capacity like they're doing now. I mean, they didn't do it like that back then. They're gonna do it in this time now.
It says, "From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So all those great nations, all those company of nations, they're gonna be aligned with Russia when it boils down to the final judgment of Babylon. All right, and you seeing how the Lord is actually raising the military technology of these nations, and America, the Pentagon is admitting that their military advantage over these countries is eroding. All right, so basically they got to put more to their missile defense systems, which that's been shown to fail. They've been doing a lot of missile defense tests, and it's been a failure.
In Hawaii.
All that, man. And then over dealing with Israel, the fact that, because the advantage that they had over Syria was that they can fly over them and drop bombs. If you can have airspace power over nations, you have the advantage. You could drop bombs on them, and that's that. But now that they have those anti-air air defense
aircraft
missile systems, you don't have that advantage no more.
And right, because they can knock you right out the sky.
Exactly, and that's what they did when they shot that F-16 out. Now they know, like, oh shit, we gotta do something about this.
So I'm gonna tie it all in.
And they didn't probably think that they had that technology.
Right. That's why Russia that has that submarine that can shoot intercontinentally, right?
Okay.
Because that's what the advantage was. The greatest advantage that America had in recent times was the aircraft carrier. Why? Because it can take 20, 30, a whole fleet of aircraft to a certain region and then dominate that region from the air. Well, now they got submarines to take all that shit out. They got air defense systems set in place now where that air thing ain't nothing special no more. And now what I was gonna say was, when you go back into the Cold War, in particular, all these spy movies like James Bond, and especially the James Bond movies, what was they talking about? They was talking about Germany having the technology of creating these missiles and all of this war information that they can use to better your armies, right? Well, who was the arms raced against? Trying to get to the Germans was playing one side, but they're playing both sides. They was playing America, trying to give America plans. That's James Bond work for them. Well, MI6, which was MI6, which is England, which is still tied to America, and the other side was who? Russia. It was Russians, Germans, and Americans, or English, or same shit. It was all of them British, going hand in hand combat, fighting for these plans, microfilm and all of that. Well, when they end up both getting the information, and that's what the Cold War was about. Because it's like, hey, we both got the information. Who gonna win? If one of us press the button, okay, that's cool. But we both got it, so we both just gonna press the button. Everybody loses. That's why I was at a standstill, like a stalemate, But now they're like, man, fuck it. We gonna start arming everybody else around us with it also, because we all have the same common enemy, which is the so-called white man, Esau, going to America and Israel over there in particular. That's why America, what they did before this was they banded up with NATO, so they would have protection against somebody else pressing the big button on any of these countries. But now they're like, NATO's like, man, it ain't beneficial. You double crossing us now too. You ain't gonna chip in no money to the pot no more. All that, man. What's the benefit of being with you? And so the Most High is really stirring this whole big thing up. I had you reading something, right?
I have
go back to second Ezra. 16, yeah. Read from the top. Because when this brother just read now about arming these other countries with what? With missiles. They're arming them with real defense tactics, whereas anti-air, I forgot what you call it.
Anti-aircraft defense missile system.
Yep. That right there. I don't know what that's called.
What?
I don't know.
The acronym for it?
Yeah, I don't know the acronym, but yeah. That.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Yep, that's the whole circling region right there. Go ahead.
Gird up thyself with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
What? Because your destruction is at hand. The war is gonna go down in that region. Bewail your children. The war is gonna go down in that region. Go ahead.
A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn.
Let's talk about World War III. It's gonna go down. There's no escaping it. It's gotta happen because the Heavenly Father is sanctioning it to happen. He's gonna make sure it plays out. Go ahead.
A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back?
What's that sword? That heavy killing instrument. Talking about the missiles eventually that's gonna destroy that whole thing. Go ahead.
A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
Fire is a killing agent. Plague is a killing agent.
Yep.
Sword is a killing agent. Keep going.
May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood.
A hungry lion is a killing agent. Keep going.
Or may any one quench the fire in stubble.
Hey,
when it has begun to burn.
When the fire starts, hey, it's too late. Hey, what Bane say? The fire arises, right? Yep. And the stubble's dry as hell right now. He got nothing is moisturized in this area. There's just fire in there, and now sparks done hit, and now it's beginning to burn. It's gonna just rise up until this place is destroyed. Till the Heavenly Father's plans are set off. What He has you to do in the earth is completely handled. Go ahead.
May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer.
Isn't that another killing agent? Keep going, bro.
Verse 8. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath.
Read that last verse real quick.
The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
Yeah, He sent the Heavenly Fathers who set this up. The same one that got the hooks in the jaws of Russia to arm all these nations with these weapons. So this world's war, third world's war, happens, man. He's making sure that it's gonna happen. There was a little more.
A fire shall go forth. Verse 8. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that may drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?
Yep, stop that right there. I'm gonna go back into this. Did I finish with this? I did finish with this. Did you have something?
I got Joel and I got Psalms.
Okay, come.
Let me start with Psalms real quick. This is Psalms 13 and Psalm 7 and 13. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors.
Yep, and what are those arrows? The missiles, man. Because that's what the whole Cold War spy movie, all of them, that microfilm and all of that the spies were running and hiding and ducking and killing and doing all that. That was all being done so they can get the information on these the missiles, man. The technology of these missiles.
So people don't understand that the technology of these missiles they're the biggest killing instrument in the world right now.
Yep.
You know, besides the Heavenly Father coming back with those chariots, the missiles can destroy complete nations. That's why they were fighting over that technology. That's why it's a big deal about
it's an arms race.
To
get it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's why it's a big deal about North Korea having those missiles now.
Yep. And
Iran.
And
that whole Iranian nuclear deal, it's a big issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Because the technology of it, it's the perfect weapon. Because you don't have to go hand-to-hand combat no more, where both sides take heavy casualties.
You don't even have to have an army of 100,000.
Yep. You can take down a whole nation.
Exactly.
2-3 nations.
Yeah.
Shoot, you send a couple bombs in a couple directions, you can wipe out a whole continent.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's the thing, without taking any loss.
A lot of casualties.
Because of the range. Now, some people on the edge might get hit when they try to rush in, but that long range is what gets you. That's why it's such a because you take this out, but you take them out from long range, and then short range you don't get touched unless they have the same weapon to get you back with. There was more on there.
That was it. I got Joel.
Okay.
Joel chapter. I'm gonna start at chapter 2 and 20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things." It's talking about the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right.
And that's where you see all the turmoil is all happening right there.
Everyone gathering.
It's from Syria all the way to North Africa, all throughout Israel, Saudi Arabian desert. All right, that whole region is a bloodbath right now.
Okay.
Yemen, it's a war zone. All right. So let me jump from there to chapter 3. And I'm going to start at 2. It says, "And I will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land."
And that's the main point of this. The main point is he's going to make everybody come into that region so he can get everybody at once. Because if he don't get like I said earlier, if he don't get everybody at once, then any other nation is going to assume the power position. Because that's how low his chosen people are right now. The Israelites, if you look at the people on that side, we're all in the third world countries of the earth. The worst position of a complete people on the earth, individually and as a complete nation. There's no way that we can run the earth in the state that we are. Even if we were put into that position, we mentally don't have it, let alone spiritually don't have it. So the Heavenly Father's going to work that marvelous work all at once to make all of this pop off at the same time, by first showing us that mentally we're already ready for this part. Spiritually we're ready. He made us mentally ready because we're spiritually getting ready. There's more in that chapter, right? Read that second verse again.
It says, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Yahweh Shaphat, the land of the Most High God, Yahweh's judgment. Right?
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land."
Hey, going back to the gang analogy, right? Where do you go for a territory battle, right? You go to that territory. We're going to fight for this land right here. We're going to stand, the last man standing gets it. Well, that's what he's doing. Because we're going to run not only that region, we're going to run the earth from that region, but we're going to get put back into that region.
The universe.
Yeah, right. The nation, basically those that parted the land of Israel, you read in Ezekiel, it's basically Idumea and Ishmael.
Yep.
The Ishmaelites and Esau, which they've been fighting and destroying each other for the longest over this particular land. So, of course, World War III is going to happen over there, because Ishmael and Esau really happen to be the two top dominant forces on the earth.
Yep.
There is, Israel, all right, the so-called Jews, and you also got the Muslims, Islam, which is predominantly Ishmael.
Yep.
That's why all you see throughout that region is mainly Esau and Ishmael.
Yep. That's why Esau over there is talking about how he's either about Judaism or Christianity, and then he's pushing the antagonist role. I'll say it that way, for lack of a better term, right now. He's pushing that negative role, the terrorist role, on the Muslim. That's why the word Muslim in the Western world automatically comes like, terrorist. You say that, they got nothing to do with that. Hey, they just said in Iran, a lot of those fake Jews feel safer in Iran than they do in the land of Israel. That should tell you something. How you feel safer in a hostile environment, a hostile land, than you do in your own land. When that's y'all the main two people that's beefing. Not that because you believe in what they believe, but they said practicing Jews living in Iran. And they feel safer there than they do in the land of Israel because it's just about that land. They shouldn't be in that land.
And you know, they tried to use the term diaspora though. You talking about that report of the Jews living in Iran?
Yeah, I read something about that.
They called it the diaspora of Jews living. No, y'all not the diaspora. Y'all, wherever y'all at is because you are vagabonds on the earth going to and fro.
Yep.
All right?
You wander
all over and you just settle wherever you want to settle. And your family is well off because you're going back to your home country. You're getting so much tribute every year.
Yep.
You're the richest nation on the planet.
Because you stay getting those benefits. You stay with your practicing of being a devout Jew or whatever you want to call it, right? You stay with that so you can always get that money coming in.
Yeah.
Nobody's stupid. We know how you do.
But that ain't the real diaspora, man.
No. The article wasn't about that, but it tied into that though.
Okay.
Right. The article was about the safety. They felt safer in hostile-ass Iran. Like they wasn't worried about